Good morning, Rabbi Sai. It's so good to be back in the Medrash. Nisim in the Flois yesterday. Pasha Nisim in the Flois. Rabbim Ba'ad Matim. A small country, 8 million people against 80 million, with 92 million. How the 60 times our size? 72 times our size. And a war beat them, smattered them into pieces, with 29 people dead. There's never happened something like that in the history of the world, probably. 8 million against how many? 80? 92. With 29 dead, a war of 12 days. We had a rough time here in Eretz Yisrael. Most of us got up a few times every night. 5 o'clock in the morning. Avi, you wouldn't know about it. Welcome back, Avi. It was unbelievable. Wow. 1 minute. Ha toiva toiva toiv kilo cholo rachamecho ve'yamerachim kilo samu chasodecho kimeyo oilom kimeyo oilom kimeyo oilom kimeyo oilom. Who's not singing this? Whoa! Who's not singing? Kilo samu chasodecho kimeyo oilom kimeyo oilom kimeyo oilom kimeyo. It's going to take some years to chop the nisim in the flois. Different people have different. I wish it was like that, and I wish we wouldn't have stopped. We didn't finish them. But one day we'll look back and we'll chop the nisim in the flois. The Sudas Hoidah on a national and personal MDY level, nationally for the overwhelming success of the war. Personally, Pavik Hamiyansky's safe return. Obviously, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chvoidei va'atzmoi. He says, the Muhammad's ani osisi. That's me. Nobody else could take any kind of whatever.
Thank you, Rav Eli, for the Gemaras.
In Cape Town.
We're going to use them well and listen to a shiurim. Please send us the next pod as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, MDY, all the way from Cape Town, South Africa.
Thank you, Rav, for the Gemaras. It's really fun. I hope we...
Adam Gerson. Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Greeting from Florida. I've not missed a daf since joining Bava Basra, and I diligently studied Torah with Shnai Mikra, including daily Chumash with the Rashi recorded by Rabbi Yeshua Gordon Zizah. I look forward to doing the daf every day, even though we all know it's really about the Yomi. I'm caring for my father, and your jokes and stories that bring us many moments of joy and laughter, so please keep them coming. I don't want to end this email on a sour note, but please share the security information below. The kids, what he's saying is that there might be a danger to watch things live, because then it gives people ideas where you are and when. But we got to go live. Rabbi, we got to do more live. One-man band, Yossi Greenzweig, getting ready for a chasana the right way. He's a musician, and this is what he does before he gets on stage. We have a guy that comes to Shir. His name is Yudah Povarsky. He's the grandson of Beryl Povarsky from Ponovich. And he runs this Chashmonaim unit.
תודה רבה ל-MDY ולרב אלי סטפנסקי על הגמרא שהביאו לנו לדף היומי שנוכל ללמוד כל יום. זכות גדולה, אנחנו נמצאים פה עכשיו באימון בעזה הקטנה ובשעת לימוד פותחים את הגמרא פה עם כל הפירושים, לא צריך להסתבך.
Hi Ravelli, we had a beautiful scene last night here in Toronto despite the 42-degree heat. MDY Toronto Chaver showed up in full force. We ended up moving the barbecue indoors due to the extreme heat, but the Simcha Nasi were as warm as ever. Over 50 people joined, including several first-timers. Chef Moshe Ben Yair did a fantastic job being Messiah in true MDY Achdus, completed the Hadron and Kaddish and the Sephardi Tam, Chazaku Baruch. Special shout-out to Mikhlovitz, Schwartz, Fetman, and Ashmuli Bachrim, who were Messiah. This was the very first siyum for Ashmuli, H14, and Schwartz. This is like Israeli stars. Say the last names. Schwartz discovered Yeshua while browsing them. Maybe that's how it is in Toronto. They're a tremendous source of inspiration for all of us. Keep learning, keep building, keep sharing the incredible Siyat Shmaya and Nisim experience daily in Eretz Yisrael. Our tefillas and thoughts are with you. I guess he wrote this right before. May Hashem continue to protect you and MDY and all of Klal Yisrael. Warm regards. Aryeh Blau, Meir Planka, MDY Toronto reps. You never know who becomes a rep. You never know who becomes a big part. Meir Planka is the guy I met in this farm store here. I just asked him if he could please go on YouTube and become a subscriber so that we could show the shir live if we have 1,000 subscribers. Now we're in like 28,000 or something. And he did, but then he started getting like the notifications, and he looked. He says, "Oh, it became a big part of the shir." Here's the picture of the Siyum, beautiful Toronto style, and here the Bachram. Here's Aryeh Blau with the boys. First time full cycle. Sedra. I've been learning every day for a while now. Your constant encouragement on this topic has truly inspired me. Learning the daf every day has not only made me a better person, but has also taught me the value of consistency and provided me with a true connection to Hashem. Thank you for making Torah enjoyable, for motivating me to strive to become a strong and better person. I'd like to share a message with all my fellow MDYers. If I was able to do it, so can you. I won't lie, it's not easy, but remember, the more than happy to embrace this as a challenge in life. Additionally, I would like to warmly welcome my dear friend and devoted colleague, Chesky Strasser, to MDY. Shalom Aleichem. And honestly, I think I deserve a helicopter ride to celebrate, because he did the Shnai Mikra, Mechi Oberland in Staten Island, Subis Daf Amud Aleph. My boy said, this was Murdik. Last night we sang Tefillah La'ani, and it was so loud, it was so beautiful. And then in the middle, we had a little surprise. For me, it was a big surprise. Beautiful over there. Oh, here he is. It took so long. Stuck in Chutz La'aretz. You were also stuck in Chutz La'aretz. Yeah. How long? But you're not stuck. You can do work over there. Huh? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Separate sponsored, anonymous. הצלחה, ברוחניות, ובגשמיות, ולזכות אחינו בני ישראל. That was the cheetah kill. See, the little cheetah. Anonymous, may our learning be a shield of protection and a source of unity and blessing for Am Yisrael. Joel Gedalius. Eli nishmas, my father, Jack Gedalius. Monthly sponsor TCS Israel, powered by TALKNSAVE. Yoni, Klestzick, Refuah, Sheleimah, Miriam, Aster, פערל, פראדל, פעסיל. Weekly sponsors Max Wallack, lenišooin of Michael, Mair, Yosef, Verus, Yasmin on the 23rd of Sivan to begin a life filled with Torah and Kedusha. Anonymous, the coveted Binyomin Dessau, keep steiging. Daily sponsors, Anonymous, in honor of Eli Dykeman Yisroel Goldstein, who pushed me to switch to Rebelli Shir. Anonymous, I don't know if that's like he was in another shir. We don't do that. We don't poach. We don't poach. MDY Kids Monthly. Innovations, Chus for Fischl, Charan Akiva, and Rifki, Mrs. Stefansky.
He's on.
Who do we got?
Eli Dykeman.
Eli Dykeman Yisroel Goldstein. Art of the Mother of Sheleimah, for Yonatan Eitam, Ebeshev Bracha, for Chus for Rebellion, the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable so many. In honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do. Shalom Aleichem. I missed you. 12 days. It's not Pasha, those 12. Rabbi Isai, time to get back on the diet. There's no better way to get back on the diet than a nice, good breakfast. Dailam is off their diets, off their schedule. But one thing we were constant, the daf. Rabbi Isai, we're holding like 12 lines from the bottom. Daf Vav Amud Beis. I hear everybody switching daf. You're like on the wrong daf. Okay. Let's get back into the Rabbi Isai. You missed a few dafim. We're going forward. What happened. Now we're here. Daf Vav Amud Beis.
Sanhedrin, yeah?
Avodah Zarah. The good thing is that we had a great Mesechet. What's your guy's name over there? You look familiar.
Eli Berkowitz.
Oh! The beard threw me off. The famous Eli Berkowitz, he makes these trips, skiing trips. I drove him once, all the way in the beginning when I first came to Israel. I drove you and probably this guy right over here. No, maybe he was older than him. This is 10 years ago. We went to the Chemon. We went skiing. You're a very good skier. And a scuba diver. And what do you do that? He's a captain of, what is it called?
Sailing.
all the Mishigas, and he likes to swim those sharks over there, but then the guy got killed over there, so I don't know, did you go back there? That's the place you go scuba diving with the sharks. But the guy, it's his fault because he had a piece of a thing. I go without, says, okay, he says, go convince your wife. Givaldi. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Ephraim Mehem. So, we had in our Mishnah, you're not allowed to do business with the idol worshiper. The Mishnah says, Tanakh says, you're not allowed to even take money from them. If they're paying back a loan, you're not allowed to take money from them. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, taking is always good. It's a good thing to take. You're not allowed to give money. Ephraim, let's lay the Rabbi Yehuda. But why? Because when you pay somebody back, it hurts. It hurts a lot to give him. So what do Chacham say? Yeah, it hurts. But the next day, L'macher, says Rashi, he'll wake up and say, you know what? This burden is gone. And it's actually a simcha for him. As the Gemara, it's a concept. Right now, are you allowed to do something that right now it's a tsar, but tomorrow is going to be good? So listen to this jump that the Gemara does. We're talking about money. And the Gemara goes from money to the Dead Sea. What do people do in the Dead Sea? They do this mud thing, right? So it hurts a little bit now, but when you take it off, it feels geschmack. So like the same idea, are you allowed to do this on Yontif? Are you allowed to do this Shalom Aleichem? Are you allowed to do this on Chalamayim? But Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Isha litasud b'moyed, she's not allowed to put lime on her face, mipnei shenivalula. It's disgusting right now. If it's a type of whatever it is, like, in the spas, it's chashav, they put this on your face with the two cucumbers in the eyes, it's a whole, but right now it hurts. In a minute it feels good. Says you're allowed to do it. Why? Even though this tsar now, it feels good later, that's okay. Even though this tsar now, so Rabbi Yehuda also should hold that even though right now it's very painful to give back $1 million loan, but tomorrow he's going to feel good. He doesn't have to pay the interest. He's done with it. I mean, when you're cooking, is it fun to cook? No, but you're allowed to cook on Yontif. It's actually annoying to shecht an animal and to skin it and all the stuff they have to do. It's a lot of work. But what? You're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to have a nice barbecue in 3 hours. So that's why you're allowed to do it. So Mela, when it comes to Yontif, these kind of things that are painful now, Simcha later, don't bring your riot to that. When it comes to paying off, he's no matter what, he doesn't chap how good it is to get rid of the burden. To him, it's always an annoying thing. Says the Gemara, doesn't want to pay because he thinks, even after he pays, he pays. He'll think he'll just maybe he doesn't have that. Maybe a year there's a chiyuv and a daraisa paying back. Why did I do that? I could have gotten away with it. When I read this, it has almost no shaykhs. I thought it's fascinating that it just something clicked, like the things that we wouldn't think about. There was a guy in New York, Ma'aseh Shari, you could look it up, a guy in New York, there was a train coming, and somebody fell in front of the train. He tripped, fell in front of the train. And he couldn't, he was hurt, he couldn't get out. And they saw the train coming, they said, forget it, it's not worth it. It's too much of a risk to go in there. One guy jumped in, lifted the guy up, pushed the guy onto the thing, and the last second, the train almost killed him, and he jumped. And they came to interview, they said, you're such a hero, why did you do it? He says, why did I do it? I get paid time and a half, and if he would have been killed, I would have been stuck here on this track forever. He was thinking about his $25, that's why he jumped in. It's a different musig. What? Says the Gemara, so now this is going to bring us into a whole Amud, more than an Amud, of Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. We're going to have one halacha here, Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha, that this Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha doesn't go like our Mishnah, and then we're going to bring a bunch of other things that we pass like Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. Now what? Our Mishnah is not Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha makes a lot of sense actually. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha, when are you not allowed to do business with a guy? When are you not allowed to take from him money? Milva b'shtari neframem. You can't take money that there's a documented loan that you can't take money from him, because then he's going to go and thank his Avodah Zarah. Milva al peh. But if you're crazy enough to give a guy a $1 million loan without any aid and without a star. Milval peh nefroim mehem. This is a milval peh. You could take the money right before his holiday. Why? Because this is saving your money. It's mamish like a Shabbos Aveda to yourself. You might never see this money again. So yeah, it's before the Yontib. We'll give you a heter. Yosef Rav Yosef Achoyer de Rababa, and we actually passing like this. So says the Gemara. Here, check this out, just so you get a visual of this. Rav Huna is giving a shir. Rabbi Abba is in front of Rav Huna, and Rav Yosef is in back of Rabbi Abba, and they're listening to Rav Huna's shir. Yosef Rav Yosef Achoyer de Rabbi Abba, v'Yosef Rabbi Abba kamei de Rav Huna, and Rav Abba is sitting in front of Rav Huna. V'Yosef v'Ka'amar Rav Huna is darshaning. Hilchas of Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. The halacha is like Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. That what? That if a guy, or let's call him an idol worshiper, comes and pays up a loan that there's no documentation, take the money even though it's right before their holiday. The halacha is like this. Hilchas of Rabbi Yehuda, and the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. Hilchas of Rabbi Yeshua, the halacha is like Rabbi Yeshua that we just said. That you take the milval peh. Rabbi Yehuda, anybody that learned Baba Kama B'Mitzia here remembers this very vividly. This anya. If somebody gave the dye, he gave him white wool and he said, go dye this for me. I want you to dye it red. And he dyed it black, red. You guys remember what the picture looks like?
The store, the frock.
The frock store. So this is the original, just real quickly. Look at his feet not moving, you see? It was different back then. You could lower the volume. It's not good over there. Lower. Okay, that's that. Now today it works like this. This is the new version. He's already walking. Hold on. Not nicht. It's not perfect, but it's a whole different level.
During their holidays. Yeah, perfect.
Walks away with Busha.
From their King Santa.
So this guy, this dyer dude, he's a ganav. He was told to do X, like every Arab kablan here in Eretz Yisrael. Please put my blue tile in the bathroom. You come back, it's black. Why? Like, I asked you to put this. No, it's bad. I'm telling you, it's better. Yeah. Hello, you're all shaking your heads. You all had this experience. They don't ask nothing. Why do you do it like that? They all like it's much better. I'm not paying you for that. Well, you're not paying. You're paying double for that.
Not because y'all share construction.
Huh? Not with him. Not with shared construction. That's why you have a guy that oversees these things. Without you, it's like that. Yeah, of course. Shachar tzvay adayim. Daf Zayin Amud Aleph. Meir oimer noisin loy demei tzamro. He says Meir, the guy's a ganav. So if he's a ganav, he was koine b'shinui. It's his. So all he has to pay for is the material. Rabbi Yehuda oimer makes no sense. I delivered material directly to his factory, and all he's going to do is pay me for the cost. That means that the ganav just made money off of me. He says no. Then this ganav guy, the guy that knows better, he always loses. So, let's say the material, just the dye itself, and the wood to heat up the pot, and the rent and all that costs him 100. His expenses are 100, and all the frack. Who wants a red frack today? You know it's good for Purim, but it's discount, so it's only worth 80. So he's going to get the lower of the two. He always gets the lower of the two. And if let's say it's you're in a certain neighborhood that red frack goes really well. So now it's worth 300. So all the guys to pay is the expenses, the 100. I love this joke so much, even though it doesn't work in English b'chlal, but I'm going to say it. For the few Israelis here, that the Israeli Americans, talking about a kabbalan, anytime you argue with somebody on the price, so they always tell you, he says, what are you talking about? The material costs more. How could I give you such a discount? So a guy went to Mekubal. He says, I need a gesunta bracha for Refuah Sheleimah. He says, a good bracha for Refuah Sheleimah. You want to be healed? Yeah. It's $5,000. It's $5,000. Give me like a discount. He says, how can I give you a discount? The material cost me more than that. You don't. Without the Akdama, it works because without the Akdama, it doesn't make sense in America. The material costs more. Says the Gemara, Adrinu Rav Yosef Lape. So let's go back to our picture. Where's Rav Yosef? Rav Yosef is sitting in the back. He turned his head around. I don't know if you ever had the big schus of somebody getting up in the middle of a speech. The Rav is speaking, and he gets up and walks out to make a macha. That's how you make a macha, right? Halachically, if let's say you don't like what the Rav is saying, you don't yell at the thing. Although we have a guy, he's not in the room right now, but one of the big, no, he's a big part of this year. He'll knows what I'm talking about. Maisa Shahaya, a beautiful story. I could say, I'm not going to say his name. He was in Los Angeles, and one of the Rabbanim, huh?
What color frock does he wear?
A rabbi, okay? One of those rabbis. A rabbi without a beard, let's call him like that, okay? One of those synagogues.
What was her name?
Exactly. We're not going into. He wouldn't be davening there. It was almost, whatever, one of these places. The guy gets up and says something terrible against the Torah. Something was happening in Israel by the Kotel, whatever. He was going on and on. So this guy gets up and he says, what you're saying is against the Torah. And I'm making macha. In the middle of a speech, a sermon for hundreds of. So the two bodyguards got up, they ran over to him, they lifted him up and tossed him out of the shul. He told me the story.
Yeah.
And a few weeks later, he gets a phone call. Yeah, are you so-and-so? Yeah. He says, you were at the synagogue and you did this? Yeah. He says, I'm an attorney. He's like, oy vey, an attorney. He says, I represent a big company that pharmaceutical, and it's going public. And if it goes public, we need one of the partners has to be a doctor. And because you have this kind of personality, you stand up for your
Convictions.
beliefs or ideals. I want to invite you to be a part of the board, and we're going to pay you a salary. And Adai Yamazeh, he gets a check, even more, and he's in other companies of theirs, and because of this macha, it worked out well for him.
He still goes from shul to shul making that.
Wait a minute, you're saying good. Unfortunately, he makes a macha in this year at least once a week. At least once a week, he makes a macha. So, I'm going to go to shul this year. You see, we're back.
People are going to think you're talking about me. It's not me.
Not you. You're not a doctor. The guy's a doctor.
Okay. As long as it's clear.
Yeah, it's clear. Don't worry about it. I don't think anybody thought. You don't make machaz. You don't make machaz. No. Never. So now, so what happened there? Why is Rav Yosef turning his head around? He's making a macha. He doesn't like what the Rav Huna is saying. I don't like it. Turning your face away. What's fascinating is his big macha was, Rav Huna didn't say something wrong. He's like, you're wasting my time. It's like some people say, could you stop with those emails already? Nu weiter. It's a macha. It's like, it's so poshut. It's so poshut.
A riot emails from here.
It's so poshut that, why does Rav Huna have to say that Allah is like your Bishua Mekarcha? Why does he have to say that Allah is like your Yehuda? Doesn't make, Rebbe, I don't like what you're saying. Next, nu say some chidushim. So, says the Gemara, there is somebody who comes to you with $1 million Erev, Kratzmach, whatever it is, comes before the Chaga. Itzrich. Why? He's saying something that against the majority. It's a big chiddush that we go like Rabbi Shimon Karcha. You could do that. Why does he need to say that Allah is like Rabbi Yehuda? Pshita. We have a concept in Shas that if there's a machlokes in the Mishnah, and then later on Rebbe says it just as a individual, then the halacha is like that. That means Rebbe chose. There's two different ways to look at it. There's a machlokes, and he chose side one, and he brings it without a name. That's how he passes. That's the halacha. So this also machlokes baba kama b'sasam baba mitzia. Right? We learned this in both baba kama and baba mitzia. That's why everybody remembers the frock thing. We had a machlokes in Baba Kama, and then later on we have Rebbe says the halacha is like this. How? Because it says in Baba Mitzvah, it's not kol mishana yodei atachtoino. If the store guy, the dyer, he changes from black to red to black, he loses out. He gets the less of the two things. And if you take it back, you don't want to do the work, you also lose out. So you see that the halach is like Rabbi Yehuda. So what is Rav Huna thinking when he says in the middle of the shir, oh, the halach is like Rav Huna? It was a waste of time. Rav Huna, like the halach is like Rabbi Yehuda. Says Gemara, Rav Huna, what was Rav Huna thinking? Mishum de'in seder le Mishnah. There's not a real order to a Mishnah. Just because Rebbe put a Mishnah on Daf Kuf doesn't mean that he paskins based on something that happened on Daf Chaf. It's two different things. This ain't say they said this Mishnah, that Mishnah. He first learned one Mishnah without a machlokes, and then later on the machlokes. It's not brought like that they switched it up later on when they were putting things together. As a Gemara, what he doesn't agree to this concept. Anytime, what? There's no such concept. Says the Gemara, this is a double negative, which means a positive. It's a confusing lashon. In other words, when do I say there is a seder? It's so you just read the words and it's very simple. In one mesechta, there's obviously an order. In two mesechtas, there's no order. It's very possible that Avodah Zarah was written before Baba Kama. Just the way it is now in the Shas, Avodah Zarah comes after. That's in two Masechtas. But in one Masechta, Masechtas Avodah Zarah, if there's a machlokes in the beginning of the Masechta, and then later on a Mishnah says the same exact idea but without a machlokes, then we go with, that means Rebbe was paskening. No. Rav Yosef, Kulin Zikin Chod Masechtahi. Rav Yosef, why did he turn around? Because it's so obvious. Baba Kama and Baba Metzia is one long Masechta. It's interesting that Masechtas Kalim, just like Baba Kama, Baba Metzia, and Baba Basra, if you hold it's one Masechta, that means there's 30 prakim in that Masechta. Would take, in Daf Yomi, it would take, a year and plus, more than a year to learn one Masechta. Would be very sad, not to do siyumim, the whole thing. Kalim is also exactly 30 prakim, and the Tosefta breaks it into three pieces, and guess what they're called? Baba Kama, Baba Metzia, and Baba Basra, in Masechtas Kalim. So we have the same idea. Menachem Mendel Fencer told me that if you look in Shas, every Seder, I didn't check it out, I trust him, every Seder works that you have a larger Masechta and then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, every Seder. So he says, if so, how come Sanhedrin comes after Baba Basra? Because it must be, because Sanhedrin has 11 prakim, it must be that it's actually broken up. Although if it was if it has to be one. It has to be one.
All the Babas.
All the Babas are one, that's why the 30, and then comes 11. But if they're broken up, then it comes out that it's Sanhedrin. So he has such a cheshbon. I don't know where he got it from. Maybe he just invented it himself. I don't know. He's just his brother, by the way. Reb Menachem Mendel Fencer's brother just married the Belzer Rebbe's granddaughter. A big chassan. Mamish, this just finished our brothers yesterday or something.
I heard about that chasna.
You did?
It's all in the media.
So it's a bit. The Rebbe's this. Yeah. Mishum Diktani Lo. Gabi Hilchasa.
It's not the reason. It's not the reason why it was on the news. Middle of the war.
Oh, that one. The reason why he made a macha, again, we're talking about a macha, it's fascinating that Rav Yosef, I don't know the relationship between Rav Yosef and Rav Huna, it seems like he was a Talmud almost, but no, maybe it's the famous, maybe
see a Talmud to do a macha.
Yeah, maybe not, I don't know, I'm not bringing any rayas, maybe they were just friends talking, but I'll upon him, it was brought down as like a Shulchan Aruch halacha, like a halacha, this is the way it is, it's so obvious that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. Why? Because it says, Kol HaMishane Yodel Al-Tachtoina V'Chol HaChoyzer Yodel Al-Yoina. Sorry, Kol HaMishane. Oh, Biboy say Mishum Diktoni Lo Gabi Hilchas Psikta. I thought I said that. Okay. Because it was written in a fashion, in a way that this is the halacha. Finished. That what? Kol HaMishane Yodel Al-Tachtoina. If you change what you're doing, in other words, you go from red to black, then you lose, and if you take it back, you get the less of the two. So Meila, there's no need for you to announce that Allah is like Rabbi Yehuda. It's obvious that Allah is like Rabbi Yehuda. Torah Rabbana, brand new sugya. There's the famous story, one of the most famous stories. We'll just say I said yesterday in Hebrew, and people were laughing as if they never heard it. I can't believe it, but I'm going to say it again. A guy in shul comes to somebody and says, "Listen, Nisht Shabbos Geret, I have a beautiful car for sale." So the guy says, "Oh, Nisht Shabbos Geret, how much do you want?" He says, "Nisht Shabbos Geret, I want $10,000. He says, "Okay, very nice. 10 minutes later, he comes to him and says, no, Nishavas Geret, I want to buy it. He says, Nishavas Geret, I already sold it to somebody else. So it's a joke, but people think that if you stick in a few words and you do like this and like that, it's Sfardim sake for the Shabbat. There's different in different countries. Somebody told me that he's from Turkey. They have the same exact thing in Arabic, the same story. This the Eshel something, the Eshel of Rome, I forgot who it is, that says you could, not that it's mutter, but it actually lessens the isser. When you say Nishavas, it's aser. But you take away from the because it says, we're going to see, it says in the Pasuk, it's a Pasuk in Yeshaya, famous, we say, but Kiddush, one is Mimtzei Cheftzach. You're not allowed to talk business on Shabbos. You're not allowed to do business. V'daber davar, but the second thing is you're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to say it. So here's the Shaila. Torah Rabbanan. You go over to an electrician in Shul and Shabbos. It says, Rabbi Yid, you want to visit me on Motzei Shabbos? You never had this guy over in your house. It's not like you do Milav Malka with him every Motzei Shabbos. This is the first time. He knows and you know exactly what's going on. Are you allowed to do that? So Tanakh says Aser. Aser. It says Mimtzei Cheftzach. It says Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha Omer. Omer Adam Chaver Anir Shtamidimi Lo'erev. It's 100% mutter. Why? Because it says V'daber Davar. You're not allowed to say. You're not say I have an electrical issue. I need you to my thing. It's jumping. It's popping. The fuse is popping. I'll say this. In all my years of selling real estate, I sold a lot of homes back in the day, Baruch Hashem. When I sold to a Yid, I had to come back 40, 50, 60 times. I'm going back flying to Israel. When I sold to a non-Jew, I'm just saying this for the Olam, I never, ever once had to come back, never had a complaint garnished, ever. One time, I sold a brand new house. Brand new, like a 5,000 square foot home. Beautiful home. The guy called me up. He says, I have a major electrical problem. And when I was halfway there, he called me back. He said, I'm such an idiot. The fuse jumped. And that was it. I'm thinking now, it's mice. I don't know what the pshat is. I don't want to talk bad about Yidden, but that's how. We're very particular in this, and I don't know what it is. Everybody in this. Okay. Zog the Gemara.
The guy knows how to fix it himself. That's what it is.
Whatever. So, so we have this Yeshua ben Karcha. You're allowed to say it's not a David Davar. Again, another halacha like Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. Since you're not saying the words, you got to be careful. Don't use this Gemara like loosely. You have to know what it is. If you could explain it in different ways. Maybe it did mean to bring me for Milav Malka, maybe not. But if you say, you have to know each thing, and it's just because you say it in a hint doesn't mean that it's mutter. It's when you can be mefarish his words to two different ways. Ayin Sham and speak to your Rav. Tana Rabbana. Hanisha lechacham etime. We have this today also. It's nageh for everything. Let's say you go to the Rav with a chicken. You go to the Rav with a bedika, whatever it is, and the Rav says aser, and you don't like his psak. Are you allowed to go to another Rav? Hanisha lechacham etime lo yisha lechacham v'yitar. You're not allowed to go to another chacham. L'chacham aser, if he says it's aser, lo yisha lechacham v'yitar. Don't go to another one. Big machlokes rishonim, why not? Rashi Nida says because it's dishonor to the first Rav. He said something, now you're not being mechaber them. The Ran says because it's like making two Torahs. Torah, this is mutter, it's aser. The Ritva and the Rashba say, very fascinating. They say that once the Rav says it's aser, the piece becomes aser. It becomes a chaticha de yisura. You can't take a tray piece of meat and make it mutter, they say. Tremendous nafkemina. What if the second Rav says it's mutter? What if different things? That what if the Rav himself could he take it back? He already made him aser. Now he can't take it back. If it's his honor, think about honor. He could. One Rav to himself could. There's a Rav in Yerushalayim. I don't understand it so well. It's known. If you go into him with a hat and jacket, he paskins a little bit more lechumra. He thinks you're an avrech. You want the more chumra dika shita. If you go in without, it gives you a shtickle bit more of a kula. So the shaila is, what if you go in there with your hat and jacket and it gives you this? Or could you come back in without a hat and jacket to get the kula? It's the same rope. Zog the Gemara. I made that shaila up myself. It's not like you're using
I can't remember which gadol that somebody brought him a second time.
Yeah, the Vilna Gaon.
This was Paskin done already.
Oh, that's something else. But the famous mitzvah with the Vilna Gaon, that somebody had a problem with the chicken, and they sent the chicken to the Rav of the city of Vilna. And without knowing, they also sent the shaila to the Vilna Gaon. The Vilna Gaon said it's treif. And the Rav said it's kosher. So the Rav came to the Vilna Gaon. When he found out, he says, listen, you must come to this house on Friday night and eat with me the Suda to show the city that I'm the Rav of the city and what I paskin goes and nobody else could mix in. The Vilna Gaon said, okay. And the Vilna Gaon went there, and right before, while she was serving it, the candle fell into the whole dish, and the candle was made out of fat, out of chaylev, and it passed the whole thing. And so I asked Menachem Mendel Fencer yesterday, I said, do they say the same story about the Baal Shem Tov? He says, no, this story we all agree happened only with the Gaon. Next. I would say the story with my chicken and Reb Nisim Karelis, but that's for a different time. It's a great story, but not for now. It's
please say, please.
It's late. So you ask him, okay? If Michelle could have said it right. I know. It's too late. If one of the if there's two rabbanim, they're both sitting there, they look at it, they said, this chicken is tamei, this chicken is tar. Echad oisav echad mater, same thing iser and heter. If one of them was greater than the other one in chachma, he's a bigger talmid chacham. Ube minyan. So what does minyan mean? Minyan means older, but the Rishonim, believe it or not, I love these Rishonim. They say if you have more talmidim than the other guy, that wins, even though you're not such a chacham. Halech acharav. You go if it's minyan beats chachma, it says over here. You can be a big amaret and have a lot of talmidim, you win. Halach acharav. I'm not hinting to anything or anything. Bimlav, halach acharav machmir. But if not, if they're equal in chachma, equal in minyan, so you go with the machmir.
Why don't we say kach be'atera adif
there? No. This is a shaila in how to paskin.
Yeah.
No, kach be'atera means when you are able to be mater, you're adif.
I understand. When you have two chachamim of equal stature.
So listen, at the end of the Shulchan Aruch, go look in the shach over there. He has a whole book, how to paskin. There's 1,000 things that we have to know. You don't just go by one idea. Rabbi Shua ben Karcha Omer. Oh, here's another Rabbi Shua ben Karcha. If some explain that it means there's it's not obvious that one is a bigger talmid chacham. It's not obvious that one has more minyan. By the way, in the Art Scroll, when he brings this, he brings the pshat of minyan means the more talmidim, as that's the pshat. He doesn't say older. He says if he has more talmidim. I love the Art Scroll. B'shel soifrim shel Torah alach achar machmir. B'shel Torah, if it's in the Torah itself, you go by the machmir. B'shel soifrim. But when it's a derabanan, halach achar mekel, go after the mekel. Or Rabbi Yosef, hilchas Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha. You go with Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha real quickly. When two Hasidim bump into each other, they say nu zogab samaisa. When two Litvaks bump into each other, they say zogab sachidish. When two Briskes bump into each other, zogab sachumra. When listen to this, says Rashi. If there's a ganav or an amaretz, he's done for life. He can't testify anymore. We don't trust his kashrus when it comes to trumas and meisrus. We don't, or meisrus, I should say. Taisus argues what a guy you can't do tshuva. Means on the second time.
Amaretz, he says.
What?
He says also amaretz.
Yeah.
Not just a gaz.
Yeah, amaretz.
Yeah.
If he acts like an amaretz, that he wasn't careful with meisrus, and then one day he becomes more of a talmid chacham and does tshuva, too late. That's Reb Meir. Different Reb Meir. If he did tshuva in a way, the people that do tshuva, they're embarrassed to go in public with the yarmulke, the step, but they're belly tshuva. But b'farese, he tells everybody, Rabbi Yisrael, I did tshuva, look at me, I'm completely different. And then you could accept it. Oh, I got to show you this place. It's very important for halach lamaisa. I'm not passing from this Taisus, but you could take this and go to the Rav with this. Sheleimah deina aser ela l'shoyel. He's talking about when you go to two Rabbanim, you're not allowed to go to the second Rav to ask him for Heter. But you're allowed to go to the second Rav, says Taisvis, and tell him that I got a what is it called when you go to to a doctor? Second opinion. I tried that on my knee when I had surgery on my knee. So I was like, I'm going for a second opinion. Professor so-and-so, he was so upset. So, what am I, chopped liver, second opinion? Maybe it's not good to tell a doctor that you're going for second. You're the first opinion, even though he's the fifth, whatever. But says Taisvis, you're allowed to tell a Rav, you're my second opinion. In other words, don't pass him for me different, but maybe that Rav could go to the other Rav and show him that he made a open mistake in Shulchan Aruch or something like that. So ask your local rabbi. Again, I'm just pointing out this Taisvis that there's such a concept. But I'll go upon him in our sugya.
Stop if the guy made a real mistake.
Everybody thinks he made a real mistake. Every guy that goes to a Rav, why is he going to the second Rav? Because he believes the first Rav.
He wants a kula. But here it's like he made a mistake.
If you believe that he made a mistake, and then maybe... I see you mamish tired, huh? You're mamish out of it. Also the Rebbe Matmonis. What's going on, Rebbe? So you're too quiet. Here, it's Amud Beis now. Let's go. I didn't forget. I'm giving him rishos now. You unleashed
them.
You unleashed
the beast.
If, says the Gemara, if he used to do his Averis, Bitsina, took a smoke on Shabbos in his room, played on his phone in his room, okay. But if he did these Averis in front of everybody, who's Parik all, he made a big Chil Hashem, then that's why we can't accept it. Daf Zayin Amud Beis. Daf Zayin Amud Beis, where is it? Turn to the Daf. Kinder Beis will see an honor of our sons, Am Yisrael, for learning Sanhedrin, Makish Shavuos, and Avodah Zarah with the rebellion. Adar Global, making answering questions great again. Anonymous in honor of all the holy tzaddikim that work so hard to bring us the Daf every day with no credit given, enough said.
How can Rameir say this?
Huh?
How can Rameir say this? Who's Rameir's Rebbe?
Acher.
Rebbe Kiva.
Acher.
Rebbe Kiva. Am Aretz.
Meir's Rebbe is Acher.
It means people.
At least you know Meir's Rebbe.
Am Aretz means.
No. Everybody in time out. Everybody in time out. Whoa. Yeah. No. Yeah. Everybody's an Amaretz. We're all born Amaratzim. You become from an Amaretz, but it means somebody that acted like an Amaretz, doing. I don't know what he did. We don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. Good child. I hear.
No, everyone knew Rebbe Kiva.
It's more.
Okay, now you're locked up again. Till then the show.
Could have told us the chicken story.
It's his Rebbe.
Yeah. First, I have no idea. I want to say something. You could always accept somebody back. Shenemar shuvu bonim shovim. Mamish, the Masechta is talking. There's a few times already in the Masechta that you can do tshuva. Shovim is a rebellious one, the one that does it b'meizav b'farhesia. Shuvu bonim shovim. That's how we pass it. You could always do tshuva. Rabbi said we saw before. It doesn't matter how many times. Doesn't matter who. We learn from David HaMelech. We learn from the Egel Chet Egel. We learn from here. Shuvu bonim shovim, and this is how we pass it. Says the Mishnah. Rabbi Yishmael Oimer Shloisha Lifneim Ushloisha Lachreim Asur. The first Mishnah in the Masechta says 3 days before their holiday, you're not allowed to do business. Comes Rabbi Yishmael and says also 3 days after. B'chacham Mrim Lifnei Edeim Asur. It's Asur before. Lachar Edeim Mutar. Doesn't this sound exactly like the Tanakama in the Mishnah, the first Mishnah? Only before, 3 days before. So that's what the Gemara is going to deal with. Sunday. So we go back to this. This is Rabbi Shmuel in the Mishnah, that if you have a holiday in the middle, 3 days before, 3 days after is also. Says the Gemara, if that's the case, what if a person celebrates Sunday as a holiday? Which, it's a whole shiloh. We're talking about Christians also, the Christians not mamish, Avodah Zarah, bismanenu. So let's say, but somebody that this is a big holiday for him. So according to Rabbi Lazar, 3 days before, 3 days after means you can never do business with somebody that celebrates Sunday as a holiday. Well, okay, now. Chacham Ma'inu Tanakam asks the Gemara, the obvious question, l'chayra, these are the same. Here, so I just did a quick thing this morning. Chachamim in the Mishnah say, 3 days. But what's the wording right afterwards? Asr, laseis, v'laseis. It's important, those 3 words. Chachamim in our Mishnah say, asr. So what's the difference between them? They both say it's asr. And it's before. They're both before. So the Gemara is going to say there's 4 possibilities. We have no idea. It's not random, but we have to take the most we could do. First, they have to be different. Step number 1, they're different. The Mishnah doesn't repeat itself 7 daf later to say the same exact shita. So they must be different. In what? So let's just take all the machlokes we know and we don't know. We'll add 2 more. 4 machlokes in. First one that we had already. Do we include the holiday as part of the 3 days? Is it 3 days plus a holiday for a total of 4 days? Or it's 3 days total. So it's 2 days plus the holiday. So, no, nafkamina number 1 could be this machlokes. Tanakama sovar hein beloy edem. It makes a lot of sense that Tanakama is going to say that it's 3 plus the holiday. Why? Because it says in the Mishnah lifnei, and that was the maskon of the sugi over there when we're trying to find out if it's included. The word lifnei is the giveaway. It means 3 days before the holiday, in addition to the holiday. Okay. And Rabbanan say, no, it's 3 total with the holiday. Wow. Okay. Now, we had a machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish. What happens if you go ahead and you do business? Could you keep the money? See, a whole mutter, and on the left side, Rabban Misrael Sabri Nasav and Aser. Now it makes a lot of sense because look at what Chachamim on the left, top left. Chacham say, I should take out the word lifnei. It's not in the Mishnah, the word lifnei. I stuck it in my own, and I'm chappy no. Gary, could you take on top Chachamim lifnei? Just take it out later, afterwards. Because when you start playing with it, I won't be able to show this thing. It says the word aser. So aser means the money is also aser. But in the Mishnah, the first Mishnah, it doesn't say aser. It says aser lasis v'lasis. It's not referring to the money. It's referring to what you're not allowed to do. Okay, this is the best we could do, Rabbi Isa. We don't know what the difference between the 2 are. So the best we can do is we take 1 word and try to find half a raya from it. Maybe they're arguing Shmuel. But Goila in America, in London, in Cape Town, ain't aser. There's no issa to do business with the non-Jew, with the idol worshiper. Why? Ella yoim edom, only on the actual chaga that they have. Tanakama, let's listen to Shmuel. Rabban Masrei, let's listen to Shmuel. Rabban say aser. So aser means even in Goila. I just want to show you this Rashi real quickly. No, not this one. Goila. So it says Rashi, they're not so frum in America. They go to church because the father went. Something they need to steal. Sure, not a problem. They're not so frumped over there. So it's not a real Avodah Zarah. Okay, we're scared of them. It's different. Says the Gemara. Only that Tanakama is the Shmuel, he holds in Chutz La'aretz. It's only their Chaga. And Rabban Masori, less of the Shmuel, that's the nafkamina. It's not. It's even Chutz La'aretz. You have to be makbid on 3 days. So now we're going to go into the sugi of Nachum Hamadi. Nachum Hamadi. First of all, why is he named Nachum Hamadi? Fascinating that Nachum Hamadi. Where is Madi? Check this out. It's Givaldic. It's in Iran. Modai. It's mamish there in top of Iran. And I looked in the map. It's Isfahan is over there. That's where the nuclear reactors, mamish and Modai. So they call him Nachum Hamadi. So I got to tell you this. This is a shvacha one, but we got to say it anyway, once in a while. There was a guy that wanted the top shidduch in yeshiva. So he goes to the yeshiva and he says, "Give me the top guy." So he takes the top guy home for Shabbos. And this Amoretz, he asked this bacher, he says, "I have a moedik kasha nobody can answer." It says in B'Medlikin, it says, "Lo b'shem and sreifa, v'lo ba'alya, v'lo b'chelev nachum." How come it says Lei b'chelev nachum? What's wrong with chelev nachum? The guy says that's not how you read it. It's v'lei b'chelev nachum amadi oimer madigim chelev bushal. So the guy says, "You're such a. I thought you're the top guy in yeshiva. Get out of here." Kicks him out. He goes to Refuah, says, "He brought me an amaris. Doesn't know how to read." So the Refuah says, "Okay, I'll give you another guy that's mamish perfect for your daughter." He isn't like this big letz in yeshiva. He sits him down. He says, "I have a kasha. Nobody could answer the kasha." So he says, "What?" He's asking the kasha. How come it says Lo b'chelev nachum? So he says like this. It says Vayi b'shalach paris ha'am v'lo nachum. And when Paroi sent out the nation, didn't send out Nachum. Why not? They gave him the whole drasha, but he had the candles and this and that. So because Nachum didn't leave, that's why you're not allowed to use Nachum's candles. Oh, Yushiv Daitai. This is a famous one. Shkoyach. What? Chanukah, okay.
Selling candles like Michael's question.
No. You're selling candles for Michael's question. I could have said the chicken story is much better. Huh? Oh, in Givat HaMiftar, Shalom Aleichem. That's how it starts. It starts small, it's going to be huge. Oh, we got another guy in there. Shalom Aleichem, guys. So what do we have? We have Givat HaMiftar and we have a Ramat HaShkol. That is? Oh, that is.
It's a Ramat HaShkol adjacent.
Are you just, is it, that's Ramat HaShkol? Go like this if it's Ramat HaShkol. Yeah, no, they don't hear it. It's pre-recorded. Oh, here's another guy. Are you guys in Ramat HaShkol? If yes, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. They don't hear.
They're watching the game.
Oh, he says no. It's kacha v'kacha. There might be another place called Ramat HaShkol. You see, you guys don't know. No, because in the thing, I'm pretty sure it's Ramat HaShkol. It's the competition to Ramat HaShkol. It's the competition. He's saying no, it's not. It's not. Huh? Oh. This Anya Nochem Amadi Oimer, Ein Yosser Elo Yoim Echad Lefnei Yedei. What does Nochem Amadi say? Nochem Amadi says it's not 3, it's 1. This whole mission is off. Tanakama, let's lay the Nochem Amadi. Tanakama holds it's 3 days, like the bottom, number 4. We're holding number 4. 3 days. And our mission that we have on this Amud holds. They say it's 1 day. Gufa, Nochem Amadi Oimer, Ein Yosser Elo Yoim Echad Lefnei Yedei. You're only not allowed to do business with the idol worshiper 1 day, not 3 days. It's a very strong lashon. It means get rid of what you're saying. Let's take your halacha, rip it up, and throw it in the shemas. There's no such thing. As the Gemara, we just said in number 4 that's our Mishnah. Oh, this whole Mishnah is Nochem Amadi. Take this Mishnah, cut it out, throw it away. Oh, so we have a few Nochem Amadis, which the Gemara, the Chacham didn't like. Everything he says, they throw out into the shemas. Here's another one. Oh, here we go. Something like this, Rabbi say. An older horse. You're not allowed to sell to an idol worshiper a large animal like a cow, like a donkey that carries. Why? It's because on Shabbos you're not allowed to rent to them, because they're going to use your animal. There's a chiyuv to be shovis your animal on Shabbos. So if you sell, you might rent. But we made an exception. What's going to happen to this old horse during the war? He's going to go fife. He's not going to survive the war. Mela, we weren't geyser on this. Fine. So no, this halacha doesn't. We don't go with this halacha. That you're allowed to sell an old male horse in a war. As Gemara ben Beseir the Koygav say, but he has another partner ben Beseir. This is not ben Beseir matir besus. Because this is a whole sugya. Why is it mutter in a horse? Because a human being that's on a horse is chay noises atzmai. It's not really a chil Shabbos. The horse is not carrying him. A human being carries himself, whatever that means. Says Gemara, yeah, but he's not like ben Beseir. Nochem Amadi and Ben Beseir don't line up. Why? Ben Beseir loy mefalig ben zcharim lekeva. There's no difference between a zach and a keva. Ew. When they call mefalig ben zcharim lekeva, is Rabbanan Srila. He obviously holds a Rabbanan that what Rabbanan say that the isser is there's an isser to the horse kills, so that's the problem. But however, he can't be exactly where Rabbanon is shtaka dov v'loy nemar, but according to Chachamim, they're all aser. So we have to say that this halach that Nachum Hamadi said is shameless. Let's throw it away. Another one, he's mamish, he's trying hard, and they take his halachas, they throw it away. Hasheves, dill. So dill has three parts to it. It has the seeds on top, it has the branches, and it has what do we eat today? We eat like the leaves on the bottom, whatever. So Hasheves misaser zera v'yorek v'zirin. You have to take meiser from all three parts. Rashi says the rabbanon. Why the rabbanon? Because it's a vegetable. Vegetables are the rabbanon. Amrlai. Not true. The main part in those days were the seeds on top. You only have to take meiser from the top. You don't know what you're talking about. Throw it away. But he does have somebody that holds like him. It's not. You have to take meiser, zera, v'yorek, v'zirin, all three. Says the Gemara, Hosom. You're talking about in a garden. When you plant it in your own garden, then all three parts are edible. But wild, if it grows in the field, only the zera is edible. Only Refuah bar Binyomin Dessau, if such a chashuv person comes all the way from Iran, everything he says you're going to throw out. Says the Gemara, no, he's good. There's one thing that we're mamish passing like him. Rabbi, think about this. You can raise your hands. When you daven privately in Shemoneh Esrei, where do you say your tefillah? All the way at the end by Lekai Netzar, like towards the end, or by Shomei tefillah? If you're at the end, raise your hand. Your personal tefillah. So we have 6, 7 people here. 7, 8, 9. Who says it by Shomei tefillah? We have more people Shomei tefillah. Who says it by both? Who doesn't say it at all? Who doesn't have a Shemoneh Esrei? You? Okay. Okay, so where should you put in your tefillas? We're going to learn here. We're not going to get to the end of the sugis tomorrow. You'll see that probably Shomei tefillah is the better one. You should ask for your private things in Shomei tefillah. It's interesting, the Ramban says, let's say missiles are coming in. It's scary, missile coming in. You have a chiyuv d'oraisa to turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and daven to him. It's not like, if you want to be safe, you have a chiyuv to daven. Something bad is happening in business, children, whatever it is. You have a chiyuv d'oraisa, says the Ramban. Omer bami nodahi. This is great. We passing like Nachum Hamadi that you should say your tzrochim by Shomei tefillah. But what's the big kunz? The Talya Bashur Raviveh, there's great people that say that before him. He's holding on to something old. The Sanyo. Lezer says first, before you say Shemoneh Esrei, you should say Yitzrachim. In other words, you could say your tefillah in middle of Shemoneh Esrei. Shenemar, tefillah le'oni ki yatoiv v'lefnei Hashem yishpech sichoy. Got to show you this unbelievable Rashi. He says, ki yatoiv atifas nafshoy v'dagas liboy. The worry of your heart, you spell tchila. That's when you down first. V'hoda lefnei Hashem yishpech sichoy Shemoneh Esrei. So Rabbi Isai, if you could help me out here, even the guys that are standing in the back, we gotta do better than the Israelis. Better, but everybody together.
It's fine. You started.
Go. First comes the painful tefillah, your own personal tefillah. And then afterwards, in other words, you could daven for yourself in middle Shemeh tefillah. Okay, maybe it means before. We'll see tomorrow. First, you daven Shemoneh Esrei. You can't daven. You can't say in middle Shemoneh Esrei. I saw a fascinating thing before we go to davening. Fascinating. If you are allowed to say Takadosh Baruch Hu middle Shemeh tefillah, Rebbeinu Shalom, I need to sell my car. I have this Buick. It's not good. I gotta sell it. This that, and then you hear the Chazan over there saying, "Yizgadeh v'yizgadeh Shmei Rabbo." Could you say Amen? You're just talking to Hashem about your Buick. You need a stick of money. You're talking to him about shtusim, really. So why can't you say Yehei Shmei Rabbo V'Varach Lo middle Shemoneh Esrei? So I saw someone say you could. If you're allowed to say, makes a kavachomer. If you're allowed to talk about your own personal things, Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.